And I do believe we are live. Karim,
Amazing.
Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very excited about this conversation because you bring all the energy. In fact, I was telling someone yesterday, when we were out after Leah's party and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning and you were still going. And I was like, this guy's an absolute legend. To be fair, I think I would have carried on had my feet not been burning. Like the amount of dancing that we did that night was like, it was off the charts. I don't think I've done that.
Right? In end of June.
Yes, yeah. Yep, I shall be there with my dancing feet on.
Please do. You need it because I booked a venue. It's going to be a mega.
Amazing. Love
it. It's for the after party that I booked it for, so it's going to be absolutely mega,
I'm there already. Anyway, why are we here? I'm obviously the host of Hyde Speak, and I just like to elevate other business owners and chat about them and, kind of their journey to where they are now, why they're passionate about what they are. And so do you want to introduce yourself, Karim, and then we'll get chatting?
Yeah, absolutely. Before I introduce myself, I would like to congratulate you on the most iconic UK woman award that's been.
I know. No, did you see that? It was like
I saw that, and that was amazing. So I just really want to congratulate because you know what, these achievements really lift us up, don't they?
This is very true.
So by the way, so you asked me for my introduction. So my name is Karim Samani, and I got 2 businesses. One is called Wellbeing and Ergonomics. I think he's on this side. Sorry, and the second one is called TechDisinfect. So Wellbeing and Ergonomics is all about office ergonomics. So we supply ergonomic chair, we do the DSC assessment, do occupational health. It's all about how we can improve employees' quality of life in the workplace, which increases profitability for the businesses, and they keep themselves and they keep them aligned with the HSC guidelines as well, actually. So that's what we do. TechDisinfect on the other side, we got a small team of experts and they physically disinfect IT devices. And again, it's for the to protect employees' health and well-being in the workplace, to stop any contamination spreading around the office. So these 2 businesses, if you really see the correlation is we are workstation specialists or experts in protecting the people's well-being in the workplace.
I like the fact that it's not just about the kind of the semantics of, chairs and desks and, cleanliness. Actually, there's a bigger picture for you, which is ultimately looking after the people, which is, if you don't do that, what have you got really? This is
I mean, I've seen really how people suffer in the workplace, right? And for example, if I have to ask you a question, when you were employed by a company and when you were going through the maternity, when you had the kids, were your employer ever provided you with a chair which is comfortable for you during the 9 months, right? So it's this kind of awareness that we raise in the workplace, like, okay, how we comfort a woman in the workplace? What about the people, or what about the men who go through the prostate cancer? How we support them in the workplace? So for me, I don't look at the small picture. I look at the very big picture when it's come to the health and well-being of employees in the workplace.
Yeah. I love that. So how did you end up doing that?
So I'm a qualified accountant by profession.
Oh, are you? I didn't know that.
I know I look like a bouncer. I am not.
I was going to say you are not the kind of stereotypical like accountant. Like just everything about you does not scream accountant. Quite frankly,
I think
you have got way too much energy for that.
Yeah, people normally think accountants are boring, but we are not. I'm a very good example.
You are definitely not boring. You are definitely not boring.
So I left my corporate in 2017. And that's where I started TechDisinfect. But there we go, Uncle COVID came, and we had a major problem because workplaces were shut, and we lost nearly about 90% of our contract that I worked so hard for in 2 days. But this situation was outside our control. We could not do anything. So for me, being an entrepreneur, I just thought I need to do something about it, right? And that's where I found it, Wellbeing in Ergonomics. I just kept it very, very simple.
Yeah.
2 names joined together and I made a brand name, right? For me, whenever I think about the brand name or starting a business, I don't overthink. I just say, right, this is what it is. Let's just do it, but what I did, I went on a training to learn more about the ergonomics, what it is. I just don't want to just start doing it. I just want to learn, educate myself so I can give the better advice to people. I don't want to play with people's health and well-being by not giving them the right advice. So I educated myself. It took me about 8 months to learn, and I'm still learning. I'm learning something every day. And that's how I started Wellbeing in Ergonomics. So
So how
from
long have you
having
been running that for then?
so that started at the beginning of the pandemic, first
Okay.
lockdown. Yeah. So just over 2 years, something like this. And the thing is, we at the start we only had 5-6 products. Now I got access to nearly about 14,000 products in our range from different partners all over the world.
Amazing.
I really, really work hard for it. But you know what?
Mm.
When I created those partnerships with all the big name businesses, I've proven to them that I'm passionate about this subject area. Not just like, okay, I want your product.
Yep.
How can I promote your product with the right direction?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So the chairman.
Yes.
Where did that name came from?
Yes. So that name came from lovely Laura. She works for the Info Group. She's a very good friend of mine. And one day I was going to an exhibition center in Manchester called the Manchester Central, and I was walking, and she was coming this way, and I'm walking, towards her, and she said, "Karim, the chairman," and I was just like, "Wow, I love it."
Love it.
I sent her a message after that. I said, "Am I okay to use this this title?" Yeah,
Right.
and she goes, "Yes, yeah, you are absolutely fine."
No, I love it. I think
So,
it's brilliant.
and I love it. The chairman is just like becoming like the household brand name.
Well, this is it. So it describes what you do, right? I mean, it's it kind of oversimplifies it, of course.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's like, oh yeah, he's the chairman.
He's the chairman,
Like,
actually.
yeah,
And the thing is, we got so many products, and I just thought if I can associate my name with just one product,
yeah,
the other upsells can after that, actually, right?
this is it. Yeah.
So that's what it is. So yes, yeah, I did. For me, whatever I do, I always ask people, can I use this thing? Because again, something I've been told it wasn't there, it wasn't even my idea. So I always ask people very respectfully, am I okay to use that for my own purpose? And I think this is the right thing to do.
So this is where the name Hyde Speak came from. Somebody else actually came up with it. I mean, listen, I'll let you into a secret. I am not creative at all. And someone else came up with it, and I was like, oh my god, I've got to use that. Is that okay? And they were like, yeah, absolutely, like whatever. But yeah,
I'm Hyde and Speak.
Yeah.
It's like hide and seek, right? Hide and seek.
Yeah, exactly. Hide and seek. Hide and speak. Yeah, no, exactly. Gareth says a disappointing absence of pink. Oh, Karim, you let him down. He was expecting.
I know. Do you know what it is? This top here. When I start designing this one, because I like my very fitted clothes, I really do. I'm very specific about how I wear things, how the things will look, how I represent the brand. Because me as a person branding, I represent myself. I represent my brand actually. Yeah. So I'm looking for a pink T-shirt in this same fitting, but I can't find it. So I'm working with the manufacturer, just saying, "Can you make me one?"
Okay, excellent.
So for Gareth, I'm really sorry about that. I just could not put the bow tie on this T-shirt. It won't go. But I promise you, in the future, you will see this top in a pink color.
Excellent. I love it. So let's just go back a bit, because obviously you alluded to the fact that you are a qualified accountant. Why did you just what was it that made you go, do you know what, I don't want to do accountancy anymore?
So my family, my sister, we are all coming from the business background, right? My parents always run a business. My sister got their own business, and I was the only one who wasn't running the business. And my parents always told me, right, okay, you know what, you can be very good at running business. It's challenging. It's not easy, but you can learn from your mistakes and you can do very, very well. So when I was very young, my parents will show me like a £50 note, and then they will show me like the £500. They will show me £5,000, and sometimes they will send me £10,000. But what they will show me, what they were trying to demonstrate me, when you run your business, right? The day will come where you can earn like the £15,000 in a day. You can. There is no stop to that at all. But when you're working with someone, every month you're gonna earn the set salary. Yeah. Right? And entrepreneurship is a very challenging, but is a journey that you learn more about yourself, to who you are, and how you can basically portray to your message, business message, actually.
Yeah, right? So true.
And that message from a very young age is been embossed in my head, actually. Right. And I just thought, I never had a chance to execute it. And when I got my opportunity to start the TechDisinfect, I literally went for it.
Right. You were just like, right, this is it now.
Because it's kind of like, for me, I don't want to be regret when I'm retired that I didn't even try that.
Well, this is it, right? It's like, actually, even if you can't make it work, or it doesn't end up being what you expect it or anticipate it to be, at least you can say that you tried.
I tried, actually. Look, we work hard, we fail, we pass, it's kind of, it's a life. It happens. Not all like, for example, we got a very good example of Debenhams actually. They've been going for how many years and years and years. COVID came, it couldn't even sustain that, right? So you know what, it happens, but we learn. And for me, I'm a learner. I learn things, right? And I try not to repeat the mistake which I made in the past. Yeah, I'm a human being. I have made mistakes, but I learned from it and how not to repeat it.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? When you own a business, is it's not being so arrogant to think that you know everything, or that to even expect to know everything. And you said it earlier about it's all a journey and it's all a case of learning. And if I think about the person that I was even 2 years ago before I started the business to how I am now, the stuff that I've learned, and like you said, the stuff I've learned about myself and my own limiting beliefs and my own limitations and the things I don't know, equally the strengths that I do have, and actually the things that I am better at than I expected to be good at. All of that stuff. It's nuts, isn't it?
I'm a very extrovert. I can you put me in a situation I can go and talk to anyone, right?
Yeah.
But then I understand I'll start to learn about myself that what, I need to create some kind of borderline or limitation. When I'm talking with people and introducing myself to who I am. Yes, we can have a good laugh once we know the people, but until we know it, I cannot express my full personality to them. And you know what? That really benefited me from the business sense, because people start taking me serious in the sense of right. Okay, I'm a businessman as well.
Yeah,
I could be a good fun to meet up for a pint, going out, and I could be good fun. But what I'm like as a person to deal with when it comes to the business, and I think that completely changed the complete dimension of me as a person.
I think that's it, isn't it? It's actually like you like you say, you are a lot of fun to hang out with and dance till 4 o'clock in the morning with. But ultimately, when you're in the mode and you've got your game face on, and that's it. There's no messing around.
Absolutely, right? And you know what? I mean, recently the reason I wear this T-shirt, because I absolutely love this brand, to who I am. This is who I am. And once I'm in my brand clothes, actually, I have to think about the business all the time when I'm into that time, because I'm representing this business. If I do something wrong, that's gonna hit back actually on it. People are watching.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
And you know what? That kind of giving me a more control on myself actually, to my behavior and everything.
Right? Actually, it kind of gives you that sense of that whatever I put out into the world is actually going to be reflected back into this brand. And that's a good tip actually, to kind of get your game face on. Right?
Exactly. So what I just thought, right? Okay, this is who I am as a personality wise, but how can I create my own control on myself? And I just found it this way, doing it rather than keep telling me in my head. Once I have my blank clothes on, I know that this is I am on. This is what I'm representing at the moment.
Yeah. That's a really good tip actually. No one has ever kind of come up with that. They're like, right, dress a certain way when you're in business mode, because it will, I know that we, typically it's been, suit and tie or whatever, but for you, that's not representative of your brand, is it? So, it's actually putting your branded workwear on that helps you then get into that mindset of, right, this is what I'm representing. I like that. That's really cool. Okay, so going back to the whole sort of like journey of entrepreneurship, what do you think has been your biggest learning curve since you started that perhaps you weren't expecting it to be?
The biggest learning curve is, no matter how great the idea you have, you're not going to sell it straight away. You have to work hard for it.
That's
when I started my TechDisinfect business, I just thought I found the niche and I'm going to be a multi-millionaire. I tell you,
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? It didn't happen, and kind of like and that's where the journey started. Reality, right? Going in, communicating with businesses, your ideas, and you know what? I know it. Not everybody gonna buy into it straight away. When especially the idea is so fresh, it's already there. But how you can break into the market, and that's where I started learning more about myself and that who I am as a person, creating a personal brand. Look, I do this for myself. Can I do it for you? And then we start messaging, going past you, saying, right, you can help us a lot. So that's how I started building a business.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense actually, because I think it's very easy to go, I've got the greatest idea, and then like you launch it and you just expect everyone to come flooding through the door. And it's like, wait, where are the people? Like, doesn't everyone buy into my idea as much as I do? Like,
Yeah. Again, same it was with the Wellbeing and Ergonomics. It didn't happen straight away until I raising and start using the product myself and proving it that I do it. It works for me. It will work for you as well. And that's why I started working on my personal brand a lot, to who I am as a person to deal with, rather than the products.
Well, it comes back to that whole, people by people thing, doesn't it? And ultimately, if they get a sense of who you are before they've purchased from you, then they get a sense of what they expect that experience in purchasing to be like. People, is it something like 7 instances, I think, 7 instances, like touch points.
You're right.
Yeah, that someone has to have before they are even remotely ready to purchase, let alone actually going to purchase. So I think it's important, isn't it? I mean, I've basically built my business on social media. And the sort of brand awareness. It's been, I mean, I don't know what I would have done if social media
without LinkedIn, what I would have done, I think it's how we create our community as well. We have to support each other, no matter are we a multi-million pound business or we are only like a couple of thousand business or maybe 100 pound business. That doesn't matter. It's how we can support each other to send the message forward and support the community, and let everybody progress in the life, because we are all here to do what we want to do and help people.
There's plenty to go around, right? This is the thing. I think it's that, it comes down to the whole kind of, I've got a lot of law firm allies, I suppose, who we all just cross-refer work to each other. In theory, some of us are technically competitors, but sometimes you'll get a conflict of interest and they can't act, so they'll send it to us and vice versa, and I'm just not up for that whole sort of like, stay away, you're a competitor. And obviously I'm not going to let someone into, my deepest, darkest secrets of my business. But ultimately, if actually we can support each other, then why wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? On LinkedIn, on every single day, if you really see so many experts like yourself, there's so many people who is giving a valuable information and expertise to people, which you normally have to pay for. But there we go. We on LinkedIn every day, we do something which benefits people's life in one or another way.
Right. I mean, this is it. If I can even give somebody one snippet of information that will help answer a question that they're not 100% confident they've been able to find the answer for, and actually it's not necessarily advice, it's literally something I know, why would I not share that?
Yeah, exactly.
It makes no difference to me. You're not going to come to me and pay me to ask me that question because it doesn't make sense to. So why don't I just answer it anyway?
Yeah. And another thing I became a content myself. I create content. You have seen it. I create like fun content, because ergonomics is a very dry subject. It is.
Yeah.
But that's what I just thought, like, how can I make it more fun for people to understand, engage with me? And you know what? It's to show my personality as well. Like, I'm not that boring to deal with. I'm a fun person to deal with, actually. And I don't know if you saw the last video that I did for Kim Kardashian with versus Karim.
I did. I loved it. It was brilliant.
And you know what? How we can create like such a 20-second, 30-second clip which can bring a smile to people's face, and this is how people remember you.
Yes. Well, this is it, exactly like you say, ergonomics. But you start talking about it and people go, okay, that's nice, a chair, like whatever. But actually it's really important. And I imagine lots of people were suffering during the pandemic when they were working from home and sitting at their dining chairs and all that kind of thing. So to kind of bring a lightness to it and a playfulness and a fun element to it actually then makes it more interesting, more engaging. So people do remember you then, because they're like, oh yeah, no, he was the guy that did the funny video. Exactly. We'll go to him. Yeah.
So you know what, on LinkedIn, I did share some very fun part of the side of the business, but then I shared some very serious part of the business when businesses don't do the right thing, which is about talk about the court cases that I've attended with my.
I was gonna ask about those actually, because obviously you've been is an expert witness for a number of cases.
Three cases so far.
Yeah.
And again, it's like for me, when I talk about these kind of things on LinkedIn, there's a reason. I want to protect the other businesses to not to go to the same channel again.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like how we can stop this happening from the very early stage. So what I say to the businesses is, when you employ someone, just get the thing right from the day one. It may cost you little for a start, but it's gonna save you a lot of money on the long run.
Yeah, exactly. And actually these things don't typically take a huge amount of time, do they, to get right at the beginning?
Yeah.
it's similar to, commercial dispute, really. Get it right at the beginning and it's not going to be as bad as if you didn't get it right. And then, it's...
And I always say to the business, take this as an investment. Don't look at it from the cost perspective. Look this as an investment, because if you do the things right, your employees are productive, your employees are safe, you are safe as a business, and you don't have to keep buying stuff actually, or the equipment which you need because you didn't provide it in the first place.
Yes.
So it's solving a lot of problem, but I don't think so businesses look at it from this perspective.
Well, they probably just think, it's just another thing we've got to think about on top of all the 50 million other things we've got to think about. And that, like you say, it's about kind of reframing it into something more positive than another thing on the to-do list that we need to do, right?
I mean, there is a thing which is like the online DSE assessment, which people can go and fill in. The employees can do a self-assessment DSE assessment.
Right, okay.
I reviewed the form with some other ergonomists. We sat down, we have a look, and we already shown so many red flags already.
Really?
But the thing is, we run a pilot with few companies where we've been provided with an employee's self-assessment, comparing to when we speak with them on a one-to-one basis.
Right, and what
stories?
Really, that's interesting.
People go and tick box actually without understanding,
or even really probably reading it.
Exactly. And that's where we come in. So, I mean, I wrote the post about this as well. And to give an advice to the businesses, it's like, right, do the very first physical one-to-one DSE assessment, get it done. You have the HR level report, which goes into a record that you have done it from the HSC health and safety point of view. You have done that. Year 2, do that online, but educate people. This is how you assess yourself.
Right.
And repeat this. It's going to save you a lot of money on the long run when people will learn how to do it correctly.
Just get them to do it annually, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes such a difference. So what's the kind of biggest mistake you think you see business owners making in relation to the ergonomics? Is it as simple as just providing really badly kind of adjusted chairs and desks and all that sort of thing? Is it something that you wouldn't expect it to be? Like, what's the kind of the biggest?
I mean, it's a risk that they take on themselves and for their employees. Right. And again, as I said, we visited so many workplaces that the minute you walk in and how people are working, you just see, right, okay, they've never been. So let me take you back on the form actually, or the DSE. If they understand the form correctly, they would not be sitting when I go and visit them like that.
Right.
Right. And I just explain them. So you've done it, you understand that, but it doesn't happen this way.
That's
right?
interesting.
Then
Isn't it?
that's the one part. The second part is the equipment is not right.
Right. Yeah.
Again, they just went and bought what they thought is right, but then later and find out, right, okay, that's not working for. It's not sustainable. Yeah. Right? People can't do ABC. They desk look not right. The space is not right. Is so many things on the desk. They invested all this money, but it all gone wasted basically.
But they just haven't really implemented it properly.
Yeah, what happened during the pandemic? A lot of companies, they're giving people £400, £500 budget, or go and buy yourself a desk and chair or whatever you need. But they went and bought something which they didn't understand.
Right.
Not right. And they ended up getting more mosquito lethal issues than what they had before.
Do you think there's been an increase because of the fact that there were so many more people working?
Because if you look at the 2022 Office for National Stats, which came out about 2 weeks ago, mosquito lethal issues is above the mental health issues.
Really?
3.2 billion is the cost, with 183 million days logged, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember because I was looking at the report of the day, and everyone must go and have a look at the report, because that gives you a lot of demographic actually what is happening in the market from the absenteeism point of view.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. That's nuts, isn't it?
And that's why in the budget, government announced £400 million that they're going to spend towards mental health and mosquito lethal issues very specifically.
Really?
Because they know what is happening from the absenteeism. And Office for National Stats, they gather data from every single organization. They got the master data, so nobody can challenge them because they got it.
I mean, the impact must be huge, mustn't it? Because, if someone's struggling with musculoskeletal issues, actually that can take its toll on somebody's mental health as well, right? It can.
Everything.
It's,
On their respiratory system, on their organs, compression. So, for example, if somebody is compressing and sitting like this all day, they're compressing their organs. They can't perform it. They can have a blood pressure problem. They can have migraine. They can have the headaches. They can have all sorts of problems. But the impact of that is not what you see in the short term, is the impact of that in the long term.
Yes, well, this is it, isn't it? Exactly. So you might not necessarily think
what is it doing to your body? That's what it is. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's why I speak about these subject areas very, very openly. I talk about the maternity. I talk about menopause. I talk about the ADHD and neurodiversity in the workplace. And I talk about the prostate cancer as well, that how men can develop prostate cancer by sitting down all day. Like, for example, I'm working standing up. And for me, it gives me more power in myself and more energy when I'm talking.
More energy,
everybody can do it. You know,
I had heard though that you need to, sorry to interrupt, but I had heard that you need to build up, if you're so used to sitting, that actually you need to build up to standing all day. Like you can't just go from sitting all day to standing all day.
Standing all day is not good. Sitting down all day is not good. It's how you mix your time. So what you use the frame is a 45 and 15. So 45 minutes you sit down, work sitting down. 15 minutes you work standing up actually. But in between time, what do you do as well? You take a minute breaks. You use a technique called 20-20-20. It means every 20 minutes you look away for 20 seconds for something which is 20 feet away. It's good for your eyesight. Use a Pomodoro technique, which is like assign a certain limit of time to complete a task without any interruption. So is this kind of thing, what do? Do the stretches, move around, make sure your blood is flowing. Take the phone call on your phone standing up rather than sitting down. So, we talk about everything. We don't look at the ergonomics, just how you're sitting down. We look at how
not just that,
just that, how you use an hour. And when I do a DSC assessment or occupational health, the first thing I ask the person, tell me about your first 1 hour. What does it look like to you? What do you do in 1 hour? And that one question gave me a lot of things about the company's culture, the person, and everything, because they said, oh, I just get on the phone straight away. I don't even get a chance to go to loo. I don't even do this. I'm just
get in and get on. Yeah.
Right. But the thing is, then what is it doing to the person's body? Constantly on, right? The meter is keep running there for their body.
Yeah.
So that's why when we train people on ergonomics, on well-being side, we talk about everything. And I do not do PowerPoint presentation. I show them exactly how it is done.
Right. Yeah. So
you demonstrate interactive way.
Yeah. No, that's great, isn't it? Because I did have, well, I still do have it. It's just I moved offices recently, and I had a standing and sitting desk. But I haven't moved. It's just an adapter that sits on the top of the normal desk. I haven't moved it. And
is it a desk converter?
Yes. So it's on like a on like
desk converter.
So you can it down. On top of the desk. And what I was doing was getting into the office first thing in the morning, standing to do the sort of email checking stuff, and then sitting for a bit, and then standing for a bit, and then sitting for a bit. And I have actually noticed, because I haven't moved it since I moved offices, which was 2 or 3 months ago, I have noticed that I feel a lot more sort of sluggish. I feel a bit sort of like, and it's interesting how much difference just having that ability to stand and sit, because, I get it. We can't always all just up sticks and go for a walk, because, we're in the office and the expectation is that you're not just going to start wandering around, as you please, but actually to be able to just stand for a bit, like you say, take a phone call standing up. A lot of what I do, unfortunately, tends to be quite deep thinking work, and I often like to have the paper printed, and it's kind of spread across my desk, so it's not always easy to do that work standing. But I do try to kind of go, oh God, I've been sitting for an hour and a half, right? Because it's so easy to just sit, get your head into the zone and not really move for hours on end. And then you suddenly realize that, you've been sitting, and someone did say something to me about the fact that, have you ever considered the fact that you're sitting all day for work, and then you come home? In fact, it was sitting in front of a screen all day for work, and then you come home and you sit in front of a screen as your downtime. And I was like, oh God, that's horrifying, isn't it, really? That, you're basically sitting in front of another screen, i.e. the TV, to relax. Like, where's the balance there? Where's the, the movement and the being outside and the conversing with people and all that stuff? And I'm really aware of that now, that I don't spend too much time in front of a screen, because like look up from it occasionally and actually have a conversation with someone. It's like,
I think, as I said, is how you mix your time. And that's why, as I said, when we educate people or when we teach ergonomics in a workplace, that's what we do. We talk about everything, right? And
do you do that? Do you go into companies and
we go to companies. Yeah. So we recently start organizing wellbeing events in the workplace where we talk about stress management. We do nutrition. We do blood pressure check. We do the eye check as well. Then I talk about ergonomics. It's all these event is organized by industry experts actually.
Yeah.
So I do ergonomics. I got another friend actually. She does stress management, sound bath, you name it, everything around that. So when it's delivered by industry expert, they know what they're doing and how people react, how people ask questions, and then how you can answer those questions in a way where they understand that thing.
Yeah. No, God, it's so important, isn't it?
Yes.
What are the kind of the key things that you would want somebody to know about the importance of looking after themselves in the workplace? Like, what are the?
So I always like to empower employees. So I educate people, I empower them from that education. So from that point onwards, they can take the responsibility of their own health and well-being, because that's very important. You and I can't be there all the time for them, but we are there for them if they need anything. But when we empower or educate people, it's all about we give their life back in their hand actually.
Yeah.
Right. So speak up. I always say to people, if something is not right, this is your right to speak up, and please do. Thing is, for example, some of the cases that we worked on so far, if an employee, right, wouldn't have raised the concern and just say, right, okay, do you know what, the things are not right, and it's like this, and then the employer doesn't do anything, the case goes against them straight away.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. So what happened in all three cases, this is what the judge said. And 5 minutes, the case got adjourned. Judge said, right, okay. First thing the judge asked, did you do the TSC assessment for this employee when they joined the company? A blunt question. And
yes or no, isn't it? Yes, we did. No, we didn't.
We didn't. They can't just waffle around and say, oh, we were trying to do. Judge gonna say, no. The question is, it's just a straight question. Did you do it? If they said yes, show me the copy. Show me the proof that you done it.
Yeah.
And the minute they said no, we didn't do it, everything is just like the falling drop.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
That's it.
There's no argument.
That's it. And the thing is, as I said, that's why our services are so important, both for employee and employer.
Yeah.
We protect these two people in the workplace.
Yeah.
And the workplace is made of these people. This is how you design the culture where you you look after employees' well-being as your moral duty rather than your.
So basically, the moral of the story is do the
moral
assessment.
Of the story is a moral duty rather than a legal duty.
Exactly.
But that's what it is.
Indeed.
That's my this is what I say to everyone. If something is not right, either you're an SME, are you an employer, or are you an employee, whichever way, please speak up. If something is not right, do take professional advice and guidance, and you know what, that will save your life on the longer run.
Well, this is it exactly. If you're not sure, just ask. Right? This is the thing. Find Karim on LinkedIn, send him a message, and go, hey. I think I might have a bit of a situation. Can we have a chat?
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, ask, because the answer might actually not be quite as bad as you expect it to be, right? I think this is the thing.
Absolutely. It's good to find out. I mean, for example, if I need any kind of legal advice, I'm sure I can ring you, Catherine, and say, I'm stuck with that. How can I get, advice from you? And I'm sure you will put me in the right direction. And that's
absolutely, if I can't answer the question, if I can't answer,
but I need to ask that question to you first, don't I?
Yeah.
I need to ask that. Can you help me?
I need to just be like, hey, I've got this situation. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. Should I do anything? And if I'm going to do something, what does that look like? Absolutely. Sometimes you need more context around this stuff. Sometimes, I can't answer that question that easily because, I might need some more information from you. And actually, I can't answer it without actually, onboarding you as a client and giving you
Yes.
proper official advice that you can rely on, but there are some times where people just phone me and go, hey, what do I do if someone isn't paying my invoice? And I'm like, well, have you phoned them? Have you actually asked them why they're not paying? Because there could be a reason. I had a situation recently where my bank, I was trying to set up a new payment for my bank account, and there was some kind of glitch in the system, and Metro, for whatever reason, didn't feel the need to tell anyone there was an issue with setting up new payments. It took me a week to set up this new payment, but I couldn't pay an invoice for someone that was due. And I just phoned them and went, hey, just so you know, this is going to be late because I'm not able to set up a new payment. I promise you, as soon as I can set up this new payment, it will get paid. But they could have been sitting there going, oh,
not
paid me. Yeah. And sometimes it's just that simple. It's a case of picking up the phone to someone and saying, look, just FYI, but people don't do it. People sit there kind of stewing and worrying and, I'm a bit embarrassed. I don't want to ask the question, but it's always better to ask.
Exactly. Better to ask, be open and honest about these things. And this is what I am. I say the thing, this is how it is. And I think, you know what? I'm not putting the good words about myself. I think that's what this expect of me, of my personality, people like it, because I say the thing as it is rather than making anything up. I don't sugarcoat things. I don't.
Oh, do you know what? I really value that, though. I can't be doing with people who, kind of either skirt around the issue or don't really say.
Yeah.
So that's maybe why we get on so well. Maybe that's why we can dance
I
to
was at an event yesterday, and there were these two guys. They were trying to sell me something, but they were trying to be cautious about how. And I said to them, listen, guys, just be honest. You're trying to sell me. I'm a businessman. I understand because I sell to people as well. And I say, right, but don't try to be like going into round and round and just trying to.
Like you think you're being clever here.
Kind of you talk to me and stuff like this, and they say, right, okay, would you buy it? Just say, like, look, this is what we do. This is what we sell. Do you think it will benefit you in one or another way? Boom, you're done.
Yeah. But you can kind of pick up on those sort of like really uncomfortable sales techniques, can't you? Where you're just like, do you know what? Like, you've actually put me off now. I was possibly toying with the idea of maybe buying from you at some point, but now you've used those techniques, like, we're done because...
Yeah. And the other day, you know what? I was just sitting in my garden and I was trying the different kind of laptop stand. And I said in my post, I said, yes, I'm trying to sell you, but I'm trying to sell you with an awareness and with your safety in mind. It's nothing wrong in that at all. Because I'm doing all this work. I'm doing all this work with my expertise. And there's nothing wrong in that, to be honest and blunt about it. Like, yes, I'm trying to sell you, either you buy from me or not, but at least I'm giving you my time and expertise to put you in the right direction and save you a lot of time.
Exactly. Well, look, I'm having mild battery power issues. I'm sorry, my computer is not charging, so I have 3% left.
Okay.
So no, I'm going to cut this short, unfortunately, Karim. But what's the? I don't know. Tell me something interesting, Karim. Tell me what you're up to this weekend, or give me.
So this afternoon, I'm going to a directors club event. We're having the summer barbecue. So that's what I'm going for. I'm going to be doing a lot of gardening as well as Sunday. But tomorrow, that's an exciting one. Tomorrow, we're finishing a setup. We redefining or resetting up the workstation for a HR company. And we're going to show it to people what a good, healthy workstation look like in sense of the products and everything. So my corridor actually literally full with all the stuff because they come to my house.
Brilliant. You're like,
so I've got everything in there.
About my hallway.
You've got everything ready to take it tomorrow morning, and I'm really looking forward to it. And we're really going to demonstrate what a good workstation look like in a home. In a home setting,
people don't know, do they? Like, I mean, I know only because